Every first-person shooter has one thing in common. There is always an AK, whether it's the classic regular old AK-47, AK-24, the new one I think is the AK-12 that was in Battlefield 4. If the game takes place in the future, just make up a new AK. It's not like they're ever gonna stop making AKs. And in Battlefield 2042, we have the AK-24, the in-lore replacement for the AK-12. It does exactly what all the other AKs do. Slow fire rate, high damage. Or does it? Well, yeah. Well, kinda. It's weird. Let's compare it to the M5. Before we do that, leave a like on the video if you're enjoying it. That really helps a lot. And subscribe and hit the bell notification for future videos. Thank you. With the short barrel on the M5, it out-TTKs the AK at every single range. This is despite the AK killing with one less bullet within 10 meters and beyond 30 meters. Now obviously, 10 to 30 meters, probably like 90% of your engagement, so that already makes the M5 way better. But even in the scenarios where the AK should shine over the M5, it still gets beaten because of the short barrel. The rate of fire difference is just that massive at that point. Also, the recoil on the M5 is way lower. Now, I don't want to say that any weapon in this game has high recoil, because they don't. But in comparison, the AK does kick a decent amount more, and it's just another reason why it doesn't quite hold up. So it's not looking great for the AK. Is there any reason to use it over the M5? Well, that's what I'm here to try and argue. First of all, not everything is always about stats and time to kill. Sometimes it's just about what is fun to use. And the AK, I would say, is a lot of fun to use. And that could be what is most important to you. Comparing it to the M5 is not exactly a fair thing to do. I think most people would agree that the M5 is just like the best overall weapon in the game. It kind of just does whatever you want it to. And if you want something that fires a bit slower, something that hits a bit harder, you just go with the SCAR. The AK falls in this weird middle ground and doesn't really know what it wants to be. Now, that's not to say that the AK-24 has nothing going for it. It's never been a bad weapon, just overshadowed by the other ARs. I still very much enjoy playing with it, and in fact, it does have a pretty neat trick up its sleeve. After the class update with Season 3, Assault Specialists now get 3 extra magazines with assault rifles. This is especially important for the AK-24 because it has that big 50-round drum magazine. The issue was that you only got 1 extra backup magazine. So like 1 reload and now you have to switch to the 40-round extended. It was so annoying that I would just start with the 40-round magazine by default. Now because of the update, as long as you play Assault, you get 4 backup magazines, and that makes the 50-round drum magazine actually very, very viable, and you don't have to switch it off after like 3 kills. This makes a huge difference. 10 extra bullets over just 40, like that's a really big deal. That's a lot more damage per magazine that you can put out without having to reload. And this 50-round drum mag is exactly what gives the AK-24 its identity among the other ARs in this game. It might not have the damage per second, but it has a lot of seconds. As for attachments, I found that the tactical suppressor was a really good match. Since you want to stay at a distance, you might as well take advantage of not being on the minimap. I would not recommend the wrapped suppressor because it hurts your bullet velocity. A bit of damage reduction, I don't think is a massive deal on this weapon in particular. As for the underbarrel, I really like the blue laser as it helps to reduce some of that recoil, making it even better at long range. The attachments don't make a massive difference. The important thing is that you're playing Assault and that you have the big 50-round magazine. You could run a higher zoomed optic on it as well, since it is so good at long range, but I personally prefer low zoom options for basically everything that is full auto in this game. And you've probably seen throughout the gameplay in this video just how insane this weapon performs at range. I'm killing people at like 100 plus meters, no issue. This is kind of a problem with the gunplay in this game in general, but this is still an insanely good long-range weapon. I slapped on a thermoscope and I was bursting people at distances that should be illegal, to be honest. A lot of that also is because you have that massive, thick 50-round mag to play around with. But yeah, I've been messing around with the AK a lot more lately, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a fun weapon to use. Maybe not the best weapon in the game, but it's certainly one of the more fun weapons in the game. You just need to know how to use it. This is not a good close quarters rushing kind of weapon. You can get the job done in a pinch, but at long range, this thing is properly deadly, and I think very underrated. But with that, I want to thank you for watching. I have been Glasse, and I will see you on the battlefield. Yeah, Battlefield, yeah. That's the game.